Here's another boss battle from Blacksmith Wukong, and this is of Black Wind King. He took me several tries. Now all of these bosses up to this point have taken me multiple tries to beat, but this one definitely was taking the cake a little bit. And the one after this, the Black Bear, was even worse actually. I think it's a lot of it down to patience as well. Like, I keep taking breaks playing this game, and when I come back to it, I often find myself playing it more like a Devil May Cry game with fast action rather than being a little bit more of an in-between. So it's not fully Dark Souls like or Souls games like where you have to be slow completely, which I didn't like as well, but it's more of a middle ground with that. So I just keep getting impatient, then I get hit by some of their strikes. You know, you do it so many times, you do end up recognizing the tells and a lot of the animations. Sometimes some of them blend, so it can be a bit tricky and you still get hit by it. But fortunately, you know, you still have the gourd. I still had the gourd here as well. Something that I would sometimes get caught off guard with is later on in the fight when he gets the wind power up, he gets like additional buffs for some of his strikes. So one of them he ends by picking up his spear and throwing a projectile at you on the ground. That doesn't happen without that wind buff. So it doesn't happen a lot because it's right at the end of the fight really, but something to keep in mind as well. Plus the bit when he turns into the wind and that kind of swarm of bees or whatever, there's a noise that happens, a sound effects, and you dodge right after that. And that was a good tell, but in this fight I was getting caught out a few times. By a few tries before, I was able to dodge it quite well, but in this particular fight where I did manage to beat him, I'd get caught by that swarm a couple of times at least. Here you can see getting caught by it. Fortunately, I didn't die. You know, I felt like this particular hit I probably shouldn't have been able to dodge that, but I did. So count my blessings and I carry on, drink some gourd and carry on fighting him. One thing I really liked about this particular boss fight is the visuals on this. The leaves swirling around is gorgeous. It's so nice to look at. I think it's just done really, really well. I'm playing on PS5 and on performance mode as well, and I think it looked great. If you're on a beefy PC, I'm sure this looks even better. It's a really, really well done aesthetic in my opinion. Not something that's not been done before, but I just really liked it in this surrounding with the kind of architecture around it. It looks very, very nice as well. In terms of boss fight though, he's kind of generic, to be quite honest. There's nothing super special about him. Of course, it's tough because I'm using just the basic weapon and basic armor, and I have upgraded some of my sparks, like the smash dance. I have upgraded a little bit of that, but still it's fairly kind of basic as well. So I'm trying to stick to basic attacks and then dip in, dip out, except for when I get impatient. Transformation, like I'm using Guangji here, I'm still not that good at using Guangji's transformation. I find it very slow. You have to be very deliberate and intentional with it, and getting used to that is, I don't know, I'm just not used to it because I'm used to staying as Wukong, and then when I do this transformation, it's a very different style, and that's still taking me some time to get used to. Hopefully I'll get used to it as I keep playing the game, but for now I'm just like, it's a bit tough for me for some reason. I did also start with the poison thing, right? So I used the poison spirit in this particular fight. But we're coming to the end of this fight now, and actually, yeah, my wife was kind of watching me watch this, and this is probably the first time I've really had to explain character action games to someone that doesn't know them and fight a tough boss. But in the end, I beat him.